All right, today we are diving into a place that has seen over 700 years of history, Litome Castle in the Czech Republic. Now, this is way more than just some old building. It's a fortress packed with secrets, and believe me, we're going to unlock them.
I mean, think about it. What does it actually take for something to survive for that long? We're talking centuries of battles, entire empires rising and falling. So how did this one castle manage to not just hang on, but become this incredible symbol of resilience? Well, the answer, it's literally built right into its walls.
Yeah, you heard that right. 10 meters. That's how thick the fortress walls are. It's kind of hard to even picture, right? So to put that in perspective, that's wider than a city bus is long. Just wow. This thing wasn't built to be a cozy home. It was a statement. It was a declaration of power, designed to stand up to pretty much anything you could throw at it.
And get this, those massive walls, they're just the beginning. The castle's whole design is like a masterclass in medieval military thinking. It's packed with all this clever engineering that's so much more than just, well, big, thick walls. This is why we're calling it a fortress of secrets.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Just look at the sheer ingenuity here. Put yourself in the shoes of a defender. You're in the Great Hall. That system of pulleys and counterweights, not for show. It meant you could slam down massive barricades in an instant. You could turn this grand, beautiful room into a deadly stronghold in seconds. How brilliant is that?
But you know, a place this old, its story is just as complex as its architecture. Every single stone has witnessed something. It's like a history book written in stone. So let's flip through the pages, shall we? Let's check out the timeline and see how this incredible story was built, 1 century at a time.
So the story kicks off back in the 14th century. The lords of Litome build it basically as a show of force. Look at us, right? By 1365, it's officially on the map. But of course, peace doesn't last forever. Fast forward to 1629, and it actually falls to Swedish forces during a pretty brutal battle. But here's the thing. It wasn't all war and conflict. The Renaissance and Baroque eras came along and just breathed new life into the place, adding all these layers of art and elegance. It was a whole new vibe. And that entire journey, that whole transformation, brings us right up to today, where it stands proud as a state-owned museum. What a history.
So what's actually inside those 10-meter thick walls now? Well, we're shifting gears here. We're going from the battlefield to the ballroom, from a hardcore fortress to a gallery of fine art. The castle today is a total treasure chest, just overflowing with centuries of culture.
You know, walking through this place is like a literal time machine for architecture. First, you feel that raw, imposing power from its Gothic roots. You see those huge, soaring arches. Then, boom, you turn a corner and you're hit with the super refined, symmetrical elegance of the Renaissance. And then, just when you think you've seen it all, the drama of the Baroque period just sweeps you off your feet with these grand, emotional staircases. Every single generation left its mark, and what they created is this incredible living masterpiece.
And the stuff inside, just as mind-blowing. We're talking libraries stuffed with ancient rare books, galleries filled with priceless art, and cases of artifacts that just whisper stories of the past. There's this amazing 18th century organ, a Baroque chapel that'll take your breath away. But hiding in plain sight, amidst all this, there's one collection that just doesn't seem to fit. It defies all expectations.
Nope, not a typo. Relics from the Roman Empire, inside a medieval castle, in the Czech Republic. I mean, how crazy is that? It's this mind-bending connection to a world that's so much older, found right there. It just goes to show you, this castle's history is way deeper than you could ever imagine at first glance.
So all of this brings us to the castle's final chapter, at least for now. And honestly, it might just be its most important one yet. Its life today. Because this place is no dusty old relic. Far from it. It's a vibrant, living, breathing piece of history.
See, for hundreds and hundreds of years, this was private property. It belonged to super powerful noble families. You know, the lords of Litome, the princes of Lobokitz. Only a very select few ever got to walk these halls.
But now it's owned by you. Seriously, it's owned by the state, which means it belongs to the public. It belongs to us. It's our shared heritage, and it's open for every single one of us to go and explore. The story that was once about lords and princes, well, now it's our story.
And people are definitely exploring it. We're talking over 100,000 visitors walking through those gates every single year. That makes it one of the most popular spots in the entire Czech Republic. So what is it today? It's so many things. Yeah, it's a museum, obviously. But it's also this huge cultural hub. They have an annual festival there for music and art. They're constantly working on restoration projects to make sure it stays beautiful for generations to come. And oh yeah, you might have seen it before. It's had a little cameo in some huge shows. You might have heard of one called Game of Thrones.
And that kind of brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back to those 10-meter thick walls. For over 700 years, they've seen absolutely everything. Sieges, royalty, incredible art. And now, tourist and film crews. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If those walls could talk, after telling us all these incredible stories from the past, what new stories would they be getting ready to tell?